So welcome everyone to another CTC Software webinar. My name is Sean Zerbis. I am the Director of BIM Development here at CTC Software. And in today's session, we're going to be continuing with the CTC Nexus CMS User Learning Series, focusing on working with requests. That's the focus for today's little session. Now, of course, as always, our webinars are recorded, so if you want to come back to this in the future, maybe you need to do some request administration or request adding as an end user and you want to see how this works, it'll be up on our YouTube channel. Those of you watching this on our YouTube channel, we hope you find this valuable and that maybe it earns a like and a subscribe from you so you can get more of content like this as we move forward. Now also, for those of you joining us live, we like to answer questions live while we're talking about a topic if you're here with us. So feel free to leverage that questions window and go to webinar, and I will try to answer those questions live. We also save a huge QA session for the end in case there's questions that don't fit really well within the content. So let's jump in. What are we talking about today? Well, here's the deal. Sometimes you're looking for something in the CMS and you can't find what you're looking for. And you need something more. You need some additional content. And in this session, we're going to be talking about how to ask the administration team for more stuff. And we're going to talk about looking at other requests as well, as you can be notified when those requests have some kind of update to them in case you care about them. Now, this is only going to apply if your company, your organization is using the CTC request system. The admins have a little session of their own where they can learn how to update where the request goes. So if you have an internal flow, your own internal request system, when you click the button that I'm about to show you here in just a moment, you might have a completely different flow from what I'm doing, depending on what your admins have set up. But if you're using the default CTC Nexus CMS request flow, everything that we're going to talk about today will apply. And you'll know pretty quickly if you try this yourself. So we're going to go through 4 specific topics here. We're going to talk about how to submit requests and why you might want to do it. We're going to cover how to update existing requests if you're using, again, the CTC request system. We're going to take a look at the requests of other people, and we're going to understand how to get notifications from the CTC system if you have submitted a request when that request gets handled by your admins. So first things first, let's talk about how to submit requests. Where do you actually find this? So within the CMS here, I'm signed in. I'm actually signed in as an admin, but it doesn't really matter because it's the same no matter who you're signed in as. When I'm in here and I'm looking for something, let me clear out my results here. Let me search for something like I want to have some solar panels. If I could spell, that would be great. Solar panel. Let's just kind of see what shows up. Actually, there's a lot of things that show up because my search wasn't specific enough. So I'm going to do solar plus panel here, and it's going to force it to only find things that have the word solar and panel in it. And what we'll see here is that there is a schedule. This is a Revit schedule. If I right-click on this and go into the detail, and I scroll down a little ways here, we'll notice the Revit category here is a schedule. So this is not a solar panel. It's a schedule of solar panels, and it also appears that it only exists in Revit version 2018, so it's an older piece of content, but that's okay. This particular solar panel here, this solar panel thermal schedule, doesn't have any content to go with it, so I have nothing that I can actually use, and this is what is going to kind of push me into asking my team for something and kind of talk about today's topic, submitting requests into the CMS system. So how do we do that? Well, there's a button right here. It says Add Request on the left-hand side. If requests are enabled for your firm in the first place, this button will show up. And when you click it, depending on your firm's settings, you might go to the page that I'm about to target, or you might go to your own internal flow, at which point your internal company organizational flow is whatever it is. So I'm going to talk about what this flow will look like if you're using the CTC flow here. So I'm going to pull requests onto this page. Here we go. So this page here, My Requests, is the destination that button will take you to. CTC Software Portal Requests, My Requests. Now, if you haven't signed into the portal directly, it might ask you to sign in. And so to do that, it'll just have a little login page. You log in with the same credentials you have used to get into the Nexus CMS in the first place. But here, once you're signed in, if you go to requests in the portal, this might be the only button you have access to, might be requests in the portal. The rest of these buttons are here because I'm signed in as an admin specifically. But while I'm here, it's going to default you to my requests. That's the sort of the end target here is my requests, and that's where it's going to drop you. So here on this page, I am going to create a new request. This will bring up a little form, or a big form in this case, and it prompts me to fill out some information. There's only two things here that are required. One is the subject to give some definition, and one is the priority of this request. Now, what I was looking for here was solar panels. So need solar panel content in the CMS. All right, so we can add that here. I can set my priority. I actually need this pretty soon, so I could perhaps say something like high priority. And then once I have high priority over here, I can actually specify like when do I need this by. Like I can't have this any later than maybe the end of next week, right? So I can put the end of the month here as my required by date. You have the ability here with the select libraries to suggest to BIM management where you think that belongs. Now, typically, most of my content is probably going to be in my Revit content here because this is a Revit-centric search perhaps that I was doing. If you were doing something AutoCAD focused, maybe you're looking for some Civil 3D content, maybe you want to target a specific library there. And the nice thing about targeting a library is the people who are responsible for managing that library within our system, they get notified that you've put a request into their library. You do have the ability to just leave it blank. You're just like, I need some solar panel content, just leave it like that. That's fine, but just understand that maybe the right people may not get targeted right away, and it might take just a little bit longer for them to get to it. So it's usually a good idea to target a specific library. Like if you were asking for a specific Dynamo routine that do something very specific, you might want to be targeting a Dynamo library if one exists. This library listing, by the way, just want to be clear, this is custom to your company. So whatever libraries your company has, they will appear in this particular list, okay? So I'm going to target the Revit Content CTC Express Tools library there. That's where I think this particular content belongs. Maybe I have a file that I think the team should have. Maybe just a name of it. Maybe there's a piece of content that's up there and I'm suggesting a new couple of types in a certain family. I could give them the name of whatever that content was. You can also specify whether the units of measure are important. You can be like, well, this needs to be in Imperial content. My project's Imperial. I'm looking for solar panels in Imperial, versus maybe you're working in Canada, or maybe you're working in England, right? Maybe you want this in metric, or maybe you want both, right? So you can choose which kind of content as far as units go so that it comes into your project with the correct specifications straight out. And then here, maybe I'm looking for some specific kind of content, some specific detail here. I might want to specify something about that. Like, since there's no manufacturer up there yet at all, maybe I was looking for MN solar panels. Maybe it's specifically bifacial panels for use in a solar field. I don't know, whatever. So I can specifically put that there. And then if you have any attachments like cut sheets, maybe I have some downloaded PDFs or a sample family that I found on the internet from the manufacturer's site that's kind of rubbish, and but maybe I want the BIM management team to, fix it up. Or maybe it's pretty good content and I want to just suggest that they use it directly. I can put that content or those cut sheets right here as an attachment, and then that gives them what they need right away and it puts it into a tracked system. Now, I don't have anything right now, so I'm not going to drag and drop any files here, but I'm just going to go ahead and hit save. And that's going to create a request. And that request creation is immediate. And what it will do is it will notify whoever is responsible for maintaining the Revit Content CTCE library that, hey, there's a new request from this person, Sean, and you need to get on that and take care of that particular issue. That'll be great, right? So that's part one. That's just the creation of a particular request. I've submitted a request into the system. So what else? Sometimes you might want to go back and modify a request. Maybe you want to communicate some additional details that you found. Well, you can do that as well. from the portal. I'm still there already. In fact, let's just go back to my request just in case. Yeah, no, I'm already here. That's fantastic. And while I'm here, I can see that the need for solar panel content in the CMS is sitting right there. And I can click any place on this, and it will bring back up the edit request page for that particular issue. So here I can begin to edit and fill in more data. Perhaps additionally, stand families need to be included for mounting. I don't know, whatever you need. Like, you can give as much details. And again, maybe I found some good cut sheets and I want to throw them in here. I can drag them now and put them into the system. I can update that and be ready to go. Maybe there are some comments that were going on. I can see comments that have been posted about this particular issue here. If I hit the little comment button, you'll actually see a little button there if there was comments. And I can continue to communicate back to the team who's working on this, because they might ask me questions through here. So this is a bit of a chat history, and you can go through and kind of communicate more about what's going on. So 2 ways to update your request. One is updating the original request if it's yours, and secondly, you can go in there and add additional comments if that's appropriate to the request. Now, sometimes you might want to see what other people are asking about as well. Maybe instead of just straight up putting in a request yourself, you want to go see, has anybody recently posted something about solar panels already? I kind of jumped the gun by just adding one into this list. So here in the portal, once again, I was originally showing you specifically the My Requests area. Well, while I'm here on the Requests tab, I can click on All Requests, and this will let me see everything from everybody inside this list. So maybe I'm just looking for something like general, just kind of see what shows up. Yeah, so I could have typed in something like solar, and it will help me filter down for anything that kind of matches what I'm looking for. So if I type in here in this case, general, there's a general content request. It's got kind of a low priority. This was submitted by somebody else in my team, but I can see some of these details. Now, because I'm an admin, I can also get into and manipulate this particular ticket. Most of you won't have that ability. It'll just let you see the details about it. It won't let you actually edit it. But you will be able to add additional comments to it, perhaps. Maybe you have some insights on some extra detail about whatever this particular request happens to be, and you can post your comments to other people's requests, which is nice. You can also, when you're reviewing these other requests, do things like liking requests. So I can upvote this one, like, yeah, this is a good idea. This needs to be done sooner than later. And you can watch a particular request as well. So I can actually click the little eyeball. The tick counter here will change. Now, it already had me watching it because I'm actually signed in as an admin, but were I not, it would have added me to the watch list so that as this particular update changes, there's a potential that I could get some notifications about that. And I can see the data about it, the viewing of the request to actually see all of the information, all the attachments, all the everything. Yeah, so that is right here. And again, because I'm an admin, I have the ability to delete the request, but normally I would only have that right on my own personal request if I was signed in as a standard Revit user and /Nexus user. So let's talk about the final topic here, and that is getting notifications. How do you make sure that you're getting notified when there are changes to something? Well, back here in the portal, you have to do absolutely nothing to be notified. That's the glory of this. With this system, if you have watched something, you're actively watching it. As the status here changes or there's additional comments on something that's up here, you will be notified via email. It will send it to you. For your own requests, all of your requests, 100%, you will be notified as there's a status change. So if I go over here right now and somebody modifies this and says, yeah, this is in progress, I will be getting an email here in a matter of seconds that will say that the status for the need solar panel content in the CMS has been changed to in progress. And so I'll know somebody's actively working on it. All right. Let's see. And I believe also if somebody comments, by the way, on a particular thing, so this is a comment, I will verify this by the end of the webinar here, I hope. I will be able to tell you whether or not I get notified of comments here as well, because I did get the notification. If I open this up, there was a notification saying, yeah, the status of a request you've created has been changed, and it tells you specifically the need for solar panel content has been changed to in progress. Well, I just added a comment here, so we'll see if a comment comes through with a notification as well. Since it's my issue and I posted the comment, we'll see if it actually notifies me about that. I'm not 100% certain. So for those of you watching this as a recording, I'm going to go ahead and say thank you. We always appreciate when you take a little bit of time to learn a bit more about our tool set. We hope that you found this meaningful. And once again, as you're watching this on the YouTubes, we hope that you are able to, give us a like on this to help promote the popularity of the YouTube channel and the helping of people out.